We did a lot of traveling.
As I recall, there was a non-zero amount of discussing of burning it all down.
As always.
Of course.
Remains a viable plan.
I mean, it does mean there would be no problems left, so.
From a certain point of view. I know we traveled down to the castle. I don't think we actually got much done. We did a lot of talking and planning.
Yes, you did. So you left the gnomes all the way at the tower on the other side of the map. You met a baby warforged too.
All right.
That is
Nice.
another thing you did while you were there. You met a newly reawoken warforged from a very long time ago. You went down through Mirabar, down to Loudwater, and all the way across to Parnost. You spotted the castle. Igaron gave
A lot of carousing. Can't forget that.
Oh yes, you did a bunch of carousing. For the first time in a very long time, actually. Igaron gave you guys a brief rundown of what he remembers about the castle, and you guys were planning.
Right, first things first, everyone take off everything White Dragon that you have on you.
White dragon that you have on you?
Oh, sorry.
Swipe out my
that was
cloak.
before your time.
Swipe out my cloak for one made of white dragon scales. Got it.
Yeah, Inks is taking off all her little bracelet and necklace thing. Putting it
Yeah.
on holding it.
I seem to remember a couple of you, I can't remember who, got baubles made from white dragon bone.
I own a few scales, but they're all in my bag.
Right.
The bigger issue for me is Keflo wears white dragon barding.
Yes. Yes, he does.
Doesn't prestidigitation let you change the color of something? Or am I
Are you
thinking
sure
of the
you
wrong
want to press
edition?
that?
Well, technically, that Ink was pondering that potentially for her scales, and she has silver scales.
Mine would be covered by clothes, so.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to try and get your elk up like 100 feet straight up, because if I remember correctly, you guys were planning on trying to take one of the tunnels in the big mountainy part of the castle. So if you want to try and get Vikeplo to hike 100 feet straight up, go right ahead.
You're saying this like this is not a normal thing.
I mean, we do fly around a lot.
You do, that's true.
Isn't spider climb on the
you.
druid list?
Anyhow. But we can summon Vikeplo after the dragon, if we want to do it that way.
I think that is probably our best option.
Yeah.
All right. So, Igaron has one other piece of information that he forgot to mention to you guys last time.
Do tell.
You should definitely try and take control of the castle before you kill my father. Because if you don't, he's just going to crash it.
So that would suck.
Yeah, he'll crash it and do his best to kill everybody on board.
Well then, would that be your forte since you know how to control them?
I can try.
Do we have any other options?
To be fair, we have watched someone fly a castle, but we didn't do it ourselves.
Yeah, Zephyros, way back in the day, explained how it works to you. Basically, anybody can just put their hand on the orb and direct it. You just need the will to do so.
Mm-hmm.
That's assuming there aren't other traps or whatnots
Right.
on the orb in question. But yeah, we should find and gain control of that first if possible. He has a point.
Sounds reasonable.
I do enjoy not crashing.
I do too. This is going to be my castle someday, then I'd prefer for it not to be built into a mountain.
We'll certainly try to keep it in working order for you, darling. Don't know how else we're getting to Countess Sensory's place otherwise.
Hmm.
So then,
All
first
right.
things first, trying to get to the dragon.
Sorry?
Asking people first things first, the first idea is to try to get to the dragon, talk to it, and then start going up.
I don't know. Is it? I don't remember you guys' plan from last session, so.
I think it was less of a plan and more of an intention.
Yeah. I remember an intention to go do something about the dragon.
Well, we don't want to overplan for the dragon because we have no idea what it's going to want.
Alright.
Yes, but we're kind of assuming, like, it's closest to where we'll be at first. I think.
Yeah, Igeron can definitely tell you that the dragon is somewhere in the lower portions of the somewhere in the big mountain that makes up a bunch of the castle, and somewhere in the lower portions of it at that.
So what we're really looking for is back entrance, which would be near the bottom.
Yes. And so you guys did notice, you were out scouting yesterday, and you did notice a couple of potential entrances around the back end of it. They're like 100 feet straight up off the ground, but they are entrances technically.
Just so I'm remembering correctly, the castle, as opposed to the mountain, is this like an actual mountain that the castle is built into and it's like a part of it now, or is like the mountain itself the castle and it's up high? Like it's all
No. Like the whole thing is the castle. The whole thing flies.
Okay.
Like everything that you can see in that side view picture there flies. It's
Okay.
part of the castle.
Okay.
So yeah, both courtyards, the mountain that's in it, the tower that's off to the side, they're all part of Blagothkus's castle.
Alright, so which of the entrances are we thinking?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Sorry, what?
I guess which entrance would Igaron think is less guarded, if at all?
I mean, he would definitely caution against you trying to go in through the front gate.
Well, yeah.
So probably there are a lot of people in the castle at any given time. So not many of them go into the lower areas though. There's both not much there to interest them, and there's a dragon.
Remind me who all these people are again?
Oh, okay. So let me find the list. There's a couple of giants floating around it. There's a couple of stone giants. There's a vampire who lives in one of the towers. There's some members of the Red Wizards who are visiting at the moment. Who are visiting. And there are a few members who are left over from the Cult of the Dragon.
What all do we know about the Red Wizards?
Not much. They're quiet. Roll history, I guess, actually. These specific ones, not much. Igron never really met them, but they've been visiting Blagothkus for a while. You think that they're Adriel. You think that they're from a country called Thay, but besides that, Inks, same thing.
They're wizards. They're red or something.
Oh, Ox has got this.
I forgot for a second that history was something I'm actually good at.
Yes, apparently so. All right. Yeah, so I'm just pulling up some stuff to make sure that I am getting everything right. Okay. So, the Red Wizards are from a country called Thay. Um, they're a lot of things. They're slavers, they're demonologists, they're notorious for their experimentation um, through various forms of magic. They're also led by a lich named Zastaham. I think that's how you pronounce it. Who has a long and storied history of his own. They tend to, wear lovely red robes. They also, a lot of them shave their heads traditionally. Some don't anymore, but most of them do. They're actually at kind of a weak point in their history right now. They've fragmented a lot of their enclaves around, or they fragmented a lot of the enclaves that they used to hold. And there are several groups looking around trying to find ways to bring those back together.
Okay then, these are all interesting people.
Agron is quick to tell you, though, that nobody in the castle really likes anybody else. It's all kind of just an alliance of convenience.
And with your father gone, there's not much reason to lie anymore.
I... Probably not.
They sound like the type to make the selfish decision when things go to hell. So that either means leave or try and take over.
I do hope it means leave, and very quickly.
I can work with leave. But, we shouldn't be surprised if they choose otherwise.
The vampire probably won't, at least. She's been here for as long as I've been around. I doubt she'll leave easy.
So we're thinking of just turning us into a strange odd couple situation.
Strange bedfellows.
Because unless we can get the eggs to it, the dragon probably won't leave either.
We could always kill it. I'm happy to kill a dragon. It's been a long time.
I'm a little concerned about our ability to follow through.
I mean, we've done it before, but it's never easy.
Yeah, true. Up to you. I'm just happy to have help in killing father.
Well, that being our mission, we should definitely worry more about getting past the dragon than killing it to start with. I suppose we'll simply have to deal with your father and then see what else needs to be dealt with.
Exactly.
I suppose you're right. Shall we get going?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get any more real planning done.
No time like the present.
Soonest begun, soonest done.
Alrighty. So, y'all set off to head to the tower, to the mountain. So as you get closer to the tower, or to the castle, there are a number of interesting effects that you observe. Or actually just one. You observe that there seems to be a chilly fog blanketing the landscape around here.
The cold never bothered me anyway.
Definitely a white dragon. It's alive and well.
Yeah, the area around here is lightly obscured. But it's a big fucking mountain. You can't really lose your way going around it. So you follow the mountain around to the back entrance that you'd already located before. So it's 100 feet straight up into this tunnel entrance. How are people getting in?
Not a big fan of it, but I think we'll have to just carp it up.
That's a good idea.
Unless Icaron has any better ideas.
No, the carpet works. The carpet works. All right. So, in true adventurer fashion, you just carpet your way straight up to the tunnel entrance.
Just like Lyra, I can show you the world.
I mean, what else did you think we were going to do? Do we look like quellists?
Like what?
Quellists.
I don't know what those are, so.
Neither do I.
Followers of the words of Quellchrist Falconer, a philosopher general of a world known as Harlan's World in a series called Altered Carbon.
Ooh.
I need at least 4 more levels before I can fly myself.
All right. I'm gonna say no. You don't look like those. So following the tunnel only really leads one way. Eventually, you come to a fork.
I pick it up. No.
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah. So you have. Whoops. You have passages to the south and to the west. Which way?
Do we hear any noises coming from either way?
Make perception check. All right.
Womp womp.
Yeah. Adriel, you hear. I don't have a better way to describe this than kobold sounds. It's like a mix of like whimpering and begging in Draconic and general terror.
They probably have fairly distinctive voices for people who speak Draconic.
Probably. So yeah, kobold noises from the south. You also hear Inks. You also hear this, but you also hear the kobold noises. Adriel, you hear a faint crunching of ice as well.
Same direction?
Same direction. Both to the south.
The crunching worries me a bit. It might just be like, I mean, it might just be them, cutting through some rock and doing some tunneling. Or it might be the dragon moving itself around. But there's activity to the south. If we go the other way, we may be able to go around them.
I like this plan. This plan is going places.
Literally.
Both directions go places.
A place without crunching. How about that?
All right, so west is what I am hearing.
See,
Right. So you come to another fork in the tunnel. One of them dips slightly. The other heads straight, as far as you can tell.
listen again.
You hear no sounds from either of them.
Hmm. Go right to hug the wall so we don't get lost.
Sure.
That works.
All right. So you head all the way around through this lovely narrow tunnel, and it is very narrow. But eventually, you come out into an area that is full of frozen gold. Gold, copper, silver, various gems.
Who's on point at that point?
I don't know. Who's leading you guys?
Probably
Adriel.
Ox or Adriel.
Because we should probably start going back as soon as we notice this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Rich, I'm assuming that if you see this, your eyes basically turn to dollar signs.
Right. This is not the way we want to go.
This is not this way. Immediately go back. Start pulling Richard away.
It's like, are we sure?
So at the far side of the vault, I guess is the best way to describe it. You see a 30-foot cliff heading up.
So other way.
All right. Back to the way that had the crunching.
Wait, before we do that, as we approach the vault area, is there anything in there?
In the area with the vault, no. Make a perception check. Or not immediately visible. Make a perception check. You do not see anything in the area with the vault.
Really?
Neither do you. Well, nothing living. There are many, many things. Okay. Inks, you do not see anything, but you hear, once again, kobold noises and crunching from beyond the cliff at the far side.
Okay, so here's the thing. We had two choices. We took one of them. We had two choices. We took one of those that led to the vault, yes?
Yes.
So I would like to back up one step and take the other option without going towards the crunching.
Okay, you're looking at the map. We have.
That would have been
Yeah.
the
Sorry,
other option.
I'm starting to think that since there's no one in the vault room, if we can determine there are no alarms, it might be easier to just skip across that way. But I want to get close enough to see what other ways out there are.
Yeah,
You want to
Inks'
explore? You want to explore the vault a bit more?
Inks' idea
don't wanna,
was that
like,
we don't
quite
want to
go
be
in.
directly in the vault if the dragon comes around, because that gives the wrong idea about what we're doing here.
Yeah. But at the same time, if we can get past without dealing with the dragon, that works.
All right.
I don't know. What's
So
gonna happen.
there is a very large mountain of gold in the way of you, of frozen gold in the way of you seeing to the other side of the room. You
Okay,
can
so-
see the entrance to the tunnel over here. You can see the lovely cliff.
What about
I
down
have
that
the
way?
best solution to
So
this.
if you're up here, the mountain of gold is kind of blocking your view.
I thought we were over there.
Oh, if you're over there, what's the distance over there?
So the best solution to this, Igron gave me.
This map is
10
not
feet. I can see
scaled.
10 feet.
No, so each of the tiny little squares in this thing is 10 feet. It's just this map is not properly scaled or anything. I'm gonna call that at probably around 100? 150. So
Still
make a
not that.
perception check. Okay. Yep. You can spot a couple of tunnel exits over on that side. You also spot some like loose ice in the area directly ahead of you.
Am I
course.
audible?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so Igron gave me the best solution to this.
Oh.
Smash it.
Magic items resized to fit their owner.
Oh.
So I can turn into a bat, then resize my fancy hat of telepathy so that it fits bat me, and then I can fly out, take a look, and communicate my findings to the group.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, unless we think that we've already gotten everything that we can from looking.
My only concern, honestly, is that there's an alarm spell.
Or something similar, or the dragon is
Yeah.
just very perceptive, especially about its hoard.
And here's the: I don't think bat size is really going to help all that much, because I know if there's a magic thing, it'll just trigger. And
Do
if,
we have
if
any
you're
way
trying to
of-
sneak past a dragon, that's generally, if it's not asleep, that's not going to work.
Is there an alarm spell?
Not within 30 feet of you guys.
So we didn't alarm the entrances.
And can you keep that up as a bat, is the question.
What? Detect magic? Should be
It's
able to.
concentration, yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
So, like, you'd be able to see further in that way. You'd be able to see it further that way. And go around it if it's up.
Exactly.
Alright. It's going to be much more difficult to potentially negotiate with this dragon if it sees us. Before we see it.
All right.
I mean, is there something else you'd rather do?
Just weighing our options. And given the directions of things, we may not be able to get past without the dragon seeing us.
You have a point, but if we go with that, it's either we give up on the idea of sneaking past it at all, or try now.
Well, let's give it a shot. Let's see if my bullshitting is up to par nowadays.
What are we giving a shot?
The bat, seeing what's on the other side first.
All right. So, which other side do you want to try? Up the cliff or just through the tunnel entrances on the south side of the vault?
What a good question. I feel like the cliff is probably the riskier move.
Well, the cliff to the southeast is towards the crunching, near as we can tell.
Mm-hmm.
So probably we will want to head towards the tunnels to the south.
Okay. Make a stealth check and a perception check as you go.
Make sure you use bat treats for that.
All right, it has no particular mention of stealth here.
Use its dex score.
Yeah, just use its physical abilities.
And that would be the stealth, and you said perception
Oh
as well?
damn.
Yep, perception.
Does it rely on hearing?
Hearing and scent.
Okay, because bats have advantage on wisdom checks that rely on hearing.
Sorry. I thought you meant, never mind. Ignore what I said. No, this would be a sight perception check, probably. Or, yeah, take the advantage. You're a bat.
A 10.
Okay. Ah, that's good enough. Why not? So above the as you are flying past the cliff, um, you happen to hear some more of the crunching that others have described to you. You look up, and there is an adult white dragon chilling on the ceiling, crunching away at the ice as he's hanging around up there. For an instant, it seems as if he's caught your scent, but he quickly shakes it off as if it's nothing and returns to just resting.
Okay, I am very carefully going to fly back to the rest of the group and report the dragon is in fact in this chamber.
The dragon's like up the cliff and hanging out on the roof of the area over there, which I'll reveal more of. Why not? You just flew by as a bat.
So I guess sneaking past ain't gonna happen. But we found him.
Somehow assumed.
You did find him.
So if we're not going to be sneaking past, perhaps we just go back around the other way that doesn't go directly to the treasure.
Yeah.
I think it might be worth looking at the first branch that we didn't take at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a good idea.
All right. So, head back around.
Don't sound so pleased about it.
You guys, it leads back into the same room.
I kind of figured.
No, that was
You
fine though. We didn't want to be like super close to the horde.
do spot, yeah, it's something. You do spot a couple more tunnel exits over here, which I am going to scribble markings on because this map is horrible resolution. So there's a couple more exits, and then X marks the dragon.
That X was supposed to mark the treasure.
Thing.
In this case, it marks the thing that will kill you if you try and touch the treasure. which I think is equally valuable.
See, again,
Also something we
another
want to
reason
know the
why
location of.
Yes, another reason why we went down that other path.
Okay.
So, what do? You're probably 80. I actually counted it out. Each square, like each big square, is around 40 feet per side. So you're about 80-ish feet from the dragon at that entrance.
All right. I think we're going with the talk to it plan now. Inks, do you want to take point?
Seems to be the best option we have.
All right. How would you like to do this?
Now then, let's not be particularly stealthy about this. More like trying to politely introduce. Do I have any idea, like, what would be the most polite way to approach a dragon, even one that's kind of like this,
Uh,
like prostrated or prostrated?
um, Nobody has one of those lovely. Okay. Give me any any intelligence check, any knowledge check.
All the same for me.
I
I
figured.
don't think I have a relevant knowledge. Hold on.
Basically anything can apply here if you twist it the right way. So, all right. 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 There is also your religion. So, Adriel, you know on the religion side of things that um, chromatic dragons tend to like, at least their kobolds, to prostrate themselves and basically to live in fear of them. But they're more their non-kobold mortal servants tend to have a bit more freedom in how they express their reverence. So they don't have to prostrate themselves. They can come in bowed. They can come in kneeling. It's up to them and how valuable they are to the dragon and what kind of and how they're looking to present themselves.
Just so long as you look afraid.
Yeah. So somebody who's more valuable to a dragon or who's trying to appear as more of an equal might show less reverence. So, like, a high-ranking member of the Cult of the Dragon might only, bow their head and speak to a dragon as more or less an equal. Whereas a low-ranking cultist is still going to, like, kneel and tremble before them. So there's a whole range of ways that you can go with it. From that angle, it depends on how you're looking to present yourself to it. If you like, they don't care if you're more. They like it when you're more reverent than you need to be. But if you're less so than they think you should be, then they'll be pissed at you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right.
But we don't want to seem just so unuseful that we wouldn't help them in this be helpful in this situation.
Right.
All right. What about similar with like nature checks from me and?
Yeah, more or less. Dragons like to inspire fear in people, which, especially of the chromatic kind, they like inspiring fear in people. It makes them happy. But they have a respect for those who prove themselves useful and competent. And, dragons love their treasure. I gave you some generic information about white dragons last session. I don't know how much you remember.
They're more feral.
Basically, the monster manual literally describes them as being vicious, cruel reptiles driven by hunger and greed.
Well then, knowing what she knows, I guess Inks will start off heading into the chamber, kind of bow down. I might pull a sorcery point to get the resistance to cold damage and kind of like get that kind of cold across her body that might get her in with being of a similar like draconic type.
Okay, silvers don't have cold breath, right?
Yes, they do.
Oh, they do.
They are cold braced.
Neat. Okay, yeah. So if you're covering up your obvious scales, right?
Yeah, using prestidigitation to make them
Yeah.
look white, and then getting the cold resistance, kind of assume like get some frost across them or something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You might even use thaumaturgy to change your eyes to look a little bit more draconic based.
Okay.
Might be on
Is
the
everybody
levels.
else? What are other people doing? Good call. I was just thinking about that and wondering if you were going to.
And hanging back.
All right.
If anything, the buckler's probably like on the belt under the cloak.
Okay.
So I can put it on as an action if needed.
Right. Okay.
I mean, are we all planning to go in together, or are we hanging back?
I figure we'd hang back and let Inks do her thing.
Yeah, we're probably still
Hang
at
back,
the
but
doorway.
Be
Yeah.
seen, so it's not like we're trying to sneak around.
I will
Yeah.
be in the corner, making no noise and pretending I do not exist.
Are you still bat-shaped, by the way?
I think it might be useful for me to hang on to it for now, and since I can communicate, there's no compelling reason to drop it immediately.
Makes sense. Okay. So, are you just hanging on the ceiling then? Are you like perched on somebody, or?
Probably perched on someone, I guess.
Who wants
Actually,
to be the
maybe-
perch?
Yeah, maybe I should perch from the ceiling away from where they'll get breath weaponed if if that happens to be a thing.
Ye of little faith. Have some faith in your party members.
I have faith in my party members. I don't have faith in the goodwill of a white dragon.
I have faith in them. I have faith that they'll survive a breath attack.
I have faith they'll take a fireball or two.
Yeah. Alright. Give me 1 sec. I'm just gonna drop you guys onto the layer map. So y'all are about at this tunnel entrance here. Igron is with you as well. He's probably hanging back out of sight, given that he's an orc and all. Oh, but he's disguised. Yeah, he's up with you guys. But so, all the tunnels of this place lead to this lovely central core, which is a glittering cavern of ice with jagged walls and icicles the size of stalactites. The vault is split into 2 levels. There's this upper level that you guys are on now, and there's a sheer ledge overlooking the treasure hoard that you guys have already found. And above on the ceiling, you can spot an adult white dragon. And there are a couple of kobolds cowering around the edges of this room. They mostly seem to have livestock next to them or something similar. There's frost everywhere.
Yeah. Ixa's making a point to kind of keep her head down, but make sure she doesn't turn her head at all towards looking like she might be looking at the horde.
Okay.
I think something like, she's going, most fearsome and beautiful master of this lair, we seek parley.
The dragon lifts its head, or drops its head from where it's on the ceiling, and turns it towards you slowly. And who are you to use such pretty words?
We are ones who wish to be rid of a mutual enemy of yours.
He begins to clamber towards you, still walking on the ceiling, his claws crunching through the ice and rock up there. What do you presume to know of my enemies?
Well, we have heard that there is a filthy giant who has done something despicable to you, and we seek to be rid of him.
Something despicable, you say?
Anyone who would touch the children of such a beautiful dragon must be destroyed.
Is that what they told you was keeping me here? Thank you for the dramatic timing on that snap, whatever that was. the dragon, the giant holds my egg. That is true. But what is such a thing to me? I am old. I am of age. I can make more. No, what I want is treasure. This old giant, he's got plenty of gold around, of course. Some of it he's even given to the cult to hold, for me to hold in trust, he says. But he's got more hidden somewhere. And when he dies, and he will die, or when he's weak, I will take it all.
Hanks just pauses a bit, and then, like, part of her lips curl up into a slight smirk. If that is the case, we can provide you a death much more swiftly for you to get your treasure. It's all we wish.
The dragon appears to arch a brow. Oh.
We do not wish his treasure, we simply wish his castle.
Unfortunately, the castle is part of the treasure. It is, think of it, not merely a flying lair. Ooh, how other dragons would pay to have such a thing. But to steal it from the giants too. Ooh, they'll never have it again. Can you imagine their anger? And when they turn upon each other, wondering who was to blame, I will be there in the dark, waiting for them to make a wrong step. He lunges forward a little bit on the ceiling and snaps. Just to emphasize his point.
How very
So what are you willing to bargain?
Well, certainly. Our first and foremost objective is to take care of this giant. From there, we can figure out another option for getting what we need. But if we would be allowed to get through to him and dispatch him without any difficulties from your grace, we would be much appreciated. We can leave the treasure to you.
You do not touch the treasure. You do not take this castle. And the giant dies. And a cruel grin spreads across his face as he stops moving towards you. These are well and good. I accept these terms for you leaving alive, and for my non-interference.
You're a most gracious master.
Aren't I? One more thing. If you should happen to find some of the cult members upstairs, see to it they meet the same end as the giant. I might even feel obliged to give you a little bit from this hoard they've asked me to guard. He gestures with his tail back towards the hoard.
Miss Marks again at that. It would be my pleasure.
Technically, it's theirs, and the mistress has decreed it so. I can't go against her. But if they're dead, who's to say differently? So, question.
Yeah.
You just agreed to the dragon to give it the tower.
This is something I was thinking I was about to bring up.
Uh-huh.
What would you do you think the dragon might agree, possibly instead of the treasure, one use of the tower just to get one place and then let it have it and leave?
I don't know. Float it to the dragon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think about, like, I know we wanted to give this to Igeron, but it's not looking like that's going to happen, and she's trying to.
Well, I mean, it doesn't look like that's going to happen without killing the dragon, and I don't think that that's a conversation that we should have while we're standing in front of the
Yeah,
dragon.
which is why she's not having it.
And it would probably be easier to bluff that you only need the tower for a specific purpose rather than you just wanting it in general.
Yes.
Because we do need the tower for a specific purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. Ox, make a perception or insight check for me, will you? Igeron looks profoundly unhappy at this idea.
Does he know what we're saying? She's talking in Draconic.
Oh, then probably not. No, never mind. He looks very confused. No, I don't think he does. Do Cloud Giants know Draconic? No, they don't.
So instead,
So yeah,
perhaps,
never mind. He looks very confused.
if I may request, instead of the treasure, would you perhaps be willing to trade a favor?
And what favor might that be?
We simply need one use of this castle to get to a party of sorts that we need on our journey. After that, we bequeath it all to you. Would you agree?
What are you willing to offer for this favor? He looks at you expectantly with his beady little dragon eyes.
Every bit of treasure this place has.
But that is already mine. Or will be.
Well, this was in getting rid of the cultists. If we do so.
I might feel obliged. Do not push me on this,
Of course.
little one.
I meant no offense.
Everyone always says that. I even had one. Oh, what was he? Halfling, I think. Came in trying to bargain 300 years ago. Tried to bargain with me for some treasure in exchange for a favor similar to this one. He too was over greedy. Kept on screaming, "I meant no offense," right down my throat. Swallowed him whole. Halfling's perfect size for that. Now I will ask you once more. What are you willing to offer?
Sorry, I'm looking through my stuff to get an idea.
As you're thinking, the dragon unlatches his claws from the ceiling and basically just drops down, unfurling his wings as he falls, and hovers and begins to flap, hovering maybe 20 feet off the ground. He extends his neck and head out towards you, peering at you and the rest of the party.
Inks considers for a moment, like slowly lifts her gaze, not trying to obviously offend, but to not be completely cowardly like the kobolds. Would you consider a magic item for your hoard?
An interesting proposition. What item did you have in mind?
She'll think for a moment and slowly remove her ring of mind shielding and hold it out.
What is that, pray tell? I'm not one of those dirty casters.
Of course. This is called a ring of mind shielding.
Interesting.
It can disguise
What
one's
is it?
thoughts.
He lands and looks closer at it. What else does it protect against?
I'm trying to figure out how to explain.
You can. This is something
Yeah.
you can explain just out of character.
Yeah. Immune to magic that allows other creatures to read your thoughts, determine whether you're lying, know your alignment, or know your creature type.
Doesn't it do scrying, or is that something else I'm thinking of?
That might be something else. If you die while wearing the ring, your soul enters it, unless it already houses a soul.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's also a thing they do.
This is a ring of mind shielding?
Yeah. Right?
I do not remember doing that. But damn.
Yeah, I mean, nobody uses them, right? But
Yeah, she really hates that she's using this, but... Perhaps she can get another one. She hopes so.
the dragon looks thoughtful as he considers your offer. Hmm. An interesting bottle, to be certain. Doesn't smell very powerful, though. After all, I am a dragon. What need have I to hide?
I think over again what else she might have to offer.
You can try and sell them on this more if you want.
If he has no interest in it,
He's also an idiot,
that's true.
to be fair. Uh,
Well, as much as any of us in the party.
that's true.
I mean,
so,
yeah,
an idiot.
yeah. He's an idiot.
Pondering whether that or the alchemy jug might be something you're more interested in. More things that just keep coming for you. And she might try to see whether he likes the alchemy jug better.
You could also probably try to convince him that a magic item does something that it doesn't really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, he has a pretty simplistic view of how some of these things could be applied. You could pitch something to him that he might not think of.
Ah.
You could also probably try to convince him that a non-magical item is magical.
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably a
No,
pretty
that's a
wide one.
terrible idea. I'm having trouble like just completely BSing something right now, but could I kind of explain my potion of paralysis that I have and try to explain it as something that's way more like has like super rare ingredients and does way more than like completely bullshitting this elaborate backstory of like some crazy it could paralyze like even
Wait, hold on. It's a potion, you drink it and it paralyzes you?
no. It paralyzes whoever drinks it, yes, but
Right, that's what I meant. So you should try to convince him that it's a potion that'll make him stronger, more beautiful, etc. Or we can get him to drink it and then just finish him off.
he would totally save against it
Hmm.
immediately.
I live. Okay, I lost like. I lost a couple of sentences there, I think.
So she just wants to BS this like elaborate like story with this that this potion is super super rare and I'm trying to figure out like how best to
You want to snake oil the potion of paralysis?
yes, basically. But not in a way that he would want to drink it. Just something for the horde.
Okay. Do you have any ideas for what? Like you might try and sell it to him as.
Are there any like known super deadly poison type things that are really rare and hard to find, or like crazy high DC like potion poisons?
There certainly are. Give me a second while I find their names.
Trying to make it something rare and scary sounding.
Green dragon's blood.
That would be a terrible thing to say to a dragon.
It's a
It's a
white.
terrible thing to say to a green dragon.
Maybe. I don't know how...
Make it a metallic dragon's blood instead.
There we go. That might work.
Roll me a nature check.
Fuck. Oops. Still 13.
Okay. So you have like poisoner's kit proficiency or something, I think. I seem to recall.
I think so, yeah. Or at least she was learning.
Right. Okay. So you remember a couple of lovely poisons. There is one there's one that's called Dwarf Bane, which is you remember it as being gummy and pretty effective against dwarves, hence the name. There is nothing specifically about dragon blood actually, but there's one whose name I'm not even going to try and pronounce. It's got 6 S's and 4 other letters in it. That one.
The word is
Darkness.
60% S.
Yeah, it's mixed by the Yuan T, which probably explains why it's got so fucking many S's in it. But it's also reputed as a pretty deadly poison.
It
It
could make
induces
that one
paralysis.
sound sexy, so that one.
It induces paralysis and unconsciousness. It doesn't look like it kills, but it's paralysis within 10 seconds. And then there's one called the Infernal Death that you kind of remember. It's a rare magical poison. It's often used by actually religious assassins in far off lands. And it's distilled from fire elemental ichor.
Okay, that one.
All right. Alrighty. So, roll me a deception check to try and convince him that your potion of paralysis is in fact a vial of infernal death. Okay.
Yes.
He's not quite sure, but you don't seem to be lying. You seem very convinced about this potion of infernal death that you're pitching to him. So, you're saying I could kill my enemies with distilled fire elemental. That sounds excellent. I I have a question though. If it's from fire elementals, why isn't it red?
Blood has certainly turned to ash, Lord.
I was gonna say, what color is it?
I'm actually checking it right now. I really hope it's not red.
Yeah, you made it up for me, so you didn't tell me what color it was. Yeah, you kind of, yeah, you didn't exactly tell me what color it was. I thought you made it up, honestly.
Yeah, I'm kind of assuming that it isn't red.
If anything,
I'm
she
just-
could have made it look red with a prestidigitation.
Honestly, the it's become ash thing makes as much sense as any.
But yeah.
The distillation process changes the color.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could question why, humans are pink on the outside, but they have red blood on the inside. Or orcs, or elves, or anything.
Yeah, the distillery turns like ashen.
All right, sure. All right. Well, I suppose that seems acceptable. Very well. You will have your one trip in exchange for this infernal death and the death of Blagothcus, the giant.
These terms are most acceptable.
Good.
If you have no qualms, we shall continue post haste with this problem of yours.
Oh, absolutely. Go right ahead. Kill the giant. He smiles, a big toothy grin at all of you.
I smile that with pleasure. And slowly back up. Keep head down a bit. Don't turn away and go back to the group.
Okay.
Yeah, Langus passage. But changing there, which would be the best way to go?
South.
Alright.
Gonna drop you back on the main map. There are several exits. All of them are southward. So you got that one, and you got those two.
Alright. Let the group know we have passage and to not do anything fucking stupid in front of the dragon, and then start going. She'll explain the situation with Igron later.
Igron looks very unhappy when you explain it to him.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we are far enough away that the dragon cannot hear him go, "You did what?"
Yeah, no. He's waiting until much later for that. And when they're still, like, definitely alone and kind of explaining that there wasn't much she could do in the moment. It's just a
Let's just
temporary
take care of
yes. Take care of the
care of the
main
father
thing that you asked
first.
us to do.
and then figure out what
Priorities,
we're going
darling.
to do about the dragon.
Priorities.
I'm not happy about this.
To be fair, neither are we.
Oi.
You know
Let's
I'm
get
not, darling. I had to do what I had to do in the moment.
We can hope that she and the vampire kill each other.
That would be nice.
How big was the dragon?
Adult sized. So
Adult, not ancient, though.
no.
Okay.
So huge sized.
Right.
In game.
I'm just thinking, I think my character would have a sense of, all right, that's something we might be able to beat. You know, if we're fully
Maybe once
rested and
everything
everything's
else
going
is
well.
dealt with, yes.
I mean, you're 5+ Igron adventurers of 10th level. You can probably beat an adult white dragon.
It's just we don't want to do that as part of a long day.
Yes. Prioritizing.
That would be a terrible idea.
You are correct. All right. Which exit do you want to take, by the way? Actually.
That's why she asked which was the best
I'm just gonna reveal a bunch of this to you. Save some time. All right.
When she's done explaining things to people, like turning away, smirking to herself, and putting her ring back on.
All right. So 2 of the exits from there basically join up and lead to 2 other exits. The 2 exits from the Horde also, and the third from the main room join up and also lead to 2 more exits. So, actually, in the interest of saving some more time, this exit, I'm just going to reveal this whole thing. So, you have one exit that leads out and appears to be blocked mostly by the walls of the lower courtyard, but you can still squeeze your way out. You have another exit down here that mostly just amounts to like a teeny little hole in the wall. You have a set of stairs around here that will probably that Igron tells you should. What the fuck? Igron tells you should take you up to the upper courtyard. And you have an exit to the lower courtyard as well.
I'm kind of assuming that the giant's main chambers would be in the upper courtyard.
Yes, you would assume.
Yeah,
You would assume correctly.
So that's where he's more likely to be found at any given point, because the lower courtyard is for lesser beings.
Lower life forms are literally below them.
We wouldn't use dwarf metaphors for this. We would use, flying people metaphors.
The ground dwellers are literally below them.
There you go. So we want to find the way to the upper courtyard first.
Okay. So there's a big set of stairs around here
That seems
that will
promising.
lead you to the up fucking pages to the upper courtyard around here, where I've drawn a blue X.
I see.
So there's a big landing site. What time of day would it have been when you guys went in?
Either early dawn or like dusk. That's the best time to fly stealthily.
Right. Make a decision as to which one, though.
The better one.
Since we wanted to be fully rested, early dawn.
All right.
Yeah, we
early
arrived in
dawn.
the pre-dawn twilight.
Okay.
Hopefully that also means the vampire isn't as good when the light starts coming on, just in case we run into.
So the upper courtyard appears to be a main landing area for anything flying that's coming in while it's airborne. Speaking of which, actually, as you're going up the stairs, the castle jerks a bit. And you feel a sensation of rising into the air.
Oh, good.
If you poke your heads out of the staircase when you get to the upper courtyard, the scenery around you is changing in that it's going downward. The castle has taken off.
Good news, it worked.
Hey!
Hopefully it stays that way.
So, there's a big landing area in the west of the courtyard, around here. The courtyard is covered in fog that is lightly burning off. Make a perception check, everyone. Ox, the workmanship in everything here is simply astounding. Still, you think you might spot. You think you might spot a bit of a flutter around the tower that's back here, the one that has the number 18 on it. Rich, you also spot that flutter, and you hear some rumblings from the barracks, labeled Ogre Barracks, to the north of you guys. Beyond that, there is a tower on the far side of the courtyard, the one labeled 19, which Igron will helpfully identify for you guys as the steering tower, where Blagothkus keeps his goodies. There's a tower, the tower directly behind you that you saw fluttering out of. Igron will identify as the tower in which the vampire dwells. There's a smaller tower near you as well that mostly serves as a watchtower. There's some chambers off to the sides, a couple more watch spots. What are you guys curious about, if anything?
Well, considering it's moving now, Do we think that he's the one controlling it?
Probably.
Imagine that he would suffer anyone else too.
Yeah. So that might be the way to go if we're going straight to him. Unless we want to deal with some of the backup that might come.
Right. Well, before the guard gets up, let's see if we can get to the boss man. That's what I think.
So straight to the steering tower?
Yep, trusting over there.
Yeah, I think so.
Alright. So there's nobody awake. So you can scuttle across the yard to the steering tower. The door is locked as you arrive there. So it is a giant-sized door. Igeron recalls it as being very sturdy and heavy.
This sounds like a job for Igeron.
What do you want him to do? I
assume he has the best strength to.
mean, you're not wrong. Want him to try and break down the door?
How high up is the handle?
Say 9 feet. It's giant size.
So hopping up and getting a hand on it isn't a problem. It's actually opening it once it's unlatched.
Right.
Can one still use their strength if they're levitating when pushing something forward or back?
Oh, I feel like there's something about that in Levitt.
You can't move yourself around levitate without pulling against something. But if you're holding the handle in one hand and just pushing the door frame with the other, assuming it opens out.
I mean, he can try.
I was glancing at Rich for that.
I mean, I can always just cast fly on someone.
All right, Igeron will try and push the door open.
Like a boss.
He does not succeed.
What?
Fun fact, the strength DC listed for breaking open this door is a DC 70.
Holy shit.
We're not trying to break open the door, we're trying to open the door.
The door is locked. Sorry, I thought I
Okay.
already said that. The door is locked.
Alright. So the first thing we have to do is pick a giant lock.
As you examine it, it becomes apparent that it is magically locked.
I do not have Dispel.
I did not prepare. Sorry.
I take it knock is not even remotely an option.
Does anybody have knock?
Fireball?
No.
No.
I mean, that's the only
that-
knock I have.
I mean, it's basically knock.
Just with fire.
Look,
Only
does it open
completely
the door
different,
or
even more
not?
suffering.
While they're working on this, I'm gonna summon Vicatula.
All right. Rich, do you want to try and pick it?
I mean, with an offer like that, yes.
It's not an easy lock, but it's possible.
What am I using? Sleight of hand?
Sleight of hand. Well, damn.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's less than a 70 for the...
Yeah, it's less than a 70 for this one. You can actually, this is actually a possible DC to make. You'll be happy to know, and you made it.
Yes.
So, you managed to pull off some truly arcane bullshit to defeat the arcane bullshit of this arcane lock. Nobody watching is quite sure what you did. You're a little bit unsure yourself, but the lock opens to you. The door slides open just enough that you guys can push it and open up the door.
Quickly get to the other side.
All right.
So what is in here?
So, a staircase of ice leads from the ground floor to a higher chamber, the walls and ceiling of which gleam and glitter. Jewels are everywhere. There are moonstones, there are emeralds the size of your thumb, there are shining mithril wands, strange spheres covered in turquoise and gold, and dozens of copper levers and golden spheres embedded in the walls. After a moment, the walls themselves seem to disappear, providing a perfect aerial view in all directions, as if there were no castle and no cloud stuff around. More than a dozen glowing white runes wink into existence, drifting about the room like snowflakes. You do not see any giants.
I look more carefully for giants.
Make a perception check. You have known giants to be very sneaky in the past. You do not see any giants.
Huh.
Inks, you do not see any giants. Syl, you do not see any giants, though you do hear a slight whispering at one point. Rich, you do not see any giants.
I will communicate about the whispering.
Where from?
Point with a wing.
No, there's no like determinable source.
Check the ceiling.
There does not appear to be anything on the ceiling.
Just making sure. Last time there was a giant dragon.
Yes, there was, but no, there are no dragons in here that you guys can see. I've learned not to lock myself in about things like this.
Huh. All right. If he's not here, where is he?
Probably up the stairs.
Igeron shrugs. You are up the stairs.
Oh, this is all of it?
The description, the whole description was the room up the stairs.
Oh, sorry.
It's basically, Yeah, sorry, it's kind of unclear from the written description, but it's basically like a spiral staircase up into the room described that has all the lovely jewels and gems and levers and runes.
Search for secret doors.
Make an investigation check.
I don't know shit.
You do not find any secret doors.
Does he have a bedroom or a personal chamber somewhere?
He does, but it's not here. This is just the steering tower.
Yeah.
Tower where they control the...
So who's steering if no one's here?
Unclear. Igeron looks equally baffled.
Does he know invisibility?
One second. He would, yes.
So if there was whispering and there's nobody up here.
Nevertheless, even if he was invisible, if he saw us all come in here, I think he would have, reacted. Either that or he doesn't know who we brought. Let's try his bedroom or whatever.
You're just gonna leave the tower?
But not for nothing, there's nothing here.
There's all kinds of levers and runes and stuff, though.
I don't have proficiency with
Iron
air
knows how to use
castles.
them, I assume, but
Aw, you guys are no fun.
I mean, I'm sure the one who could actually use it would, but considering we're not supposed to be making it known just yet. Can we see from the tower where we went?
I mean, right now you're mostly just ascending. If you take a little bit of time and watch, though, you will see that you are heading north.
Which we do generally want to get to, but not until after we have control of the tower.
Do we think he's trying to get where we're trying to get?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Sorry, I don't think I got that.
Just pondering whether he is trying to go to the party. Yeah, either way, we should keep going, trying to find him. So we can find anything hidden around here. Things doesn't, but...
Anybody else want to investigate?
Somebody with better int.
That's a tall order in this party.
Sill's got this.
Sill's just picking up everything weird in here. Yeah, so Syl, you notice the so there are 18 runes floating around the chamber. They are each different giant runes. The whispering that you were hearing earlier is also in giant. It sounds feminine. But you do not find any secret doors. The runes seem real enough that if you wanted to, you could reach out and touch one of them.
I'm sure that'll work out well for us.
It could.
It'll get his attention.
Well, what do each of the runes say?
Oh boy. Let me check what you know about giant.
Check what Igeron knows about giant.
Ooh, that's true. Igron knows many things about giant. All right. So he starts pointing out different runes. Do you want the full list of things?
Of course.
So there are 18 runes total. I will type them all out at some point. They are alarm, all clear, anchor, cast off, drift, home, north, south, east, and west, rise, sink, spin, widdershins, veil, unveil, storm, and calm.
What, there's no spin Deosil?
There's no what?
There's a spin Widdershins, and there's no spin Deosil?
There's one that's
No,
just
there's
spin.
spin.
Is there one that says barrel roll?
No. You could probably use spin or widdershins to emulate a barrel roll, though. Although somehow
Spin
I
like a
don't
top
feel like
knot.
this castle. Somehow I'm reasonably certain that this castle is not meant to go upside down.
Well, what about an aileron roll?
Just need to use a little elevator while you're doing your roll, and it'll be fine.
The castle doesn't have ailerons, guys.
Need to construct additional pylons.
What kind of a friggin' disappointing castle is this?
A literal castle that can fly. What more do you want?
One that can do a barrel roll.
Well, I guess you're going to be perpetually disappointed then.
For the record, a barrel roll doesn't require you to go upside down.
What?
You're thinking of an aileron roll.
No.
Am I?
Barrel roll. Aileron roll,
I mean-
you just kind of spin around the one axis. The barrel roll is going to go in a big round arc.
Are you saying that Star Fox lied to me and barrel rolls don't involve going upside down?
Right.
Well, fuck. My life is a lie.
So I don't think they do. I could be misremembering.
They do.
It's not important.
This is true. I'm just typing out the full list. Let me know if you guys want to type, if you guys want to hit any of the runes.
I'd say don't touch the alarm one.
Really? I think alarm is clearly the best option.
I mean, if we want to get his attention.
A Stormveil spin could be pretty entertaining.
Let me know if you want descriptions of what any individual one does. Most of them I feel like are pretty self-explanatory, but
Someone remind me what Widdershins means?
Counterclockwise.
Aha.
yeah, Widdershins is the castle rotates counterclockwise. It goes 1 RPM.
Mm-hmm.
So not really, aerial maneuver stuff.
No. It is a fucking castle. It's not going to be
Yeah.
dogfighting anytime soon.
But I mean, 1 RPM would still be pretty fast at the outer edges.
I mean, tie a rope if you're going to be out there when it's doing it. Or hold on to something at least. Honestly,
How
just hitting,
fast? How fast can it change between the different spins? Is there like a deceleration acceleration period, or does
there is no deceleration period listed now?
I have to imagine this thing has the inertia of aircraft carrier.
Probably, yes.
You seen how fast those things can turn?
Yeah, it takes like 4 miles.
In an emergency turn?
Even in an emergency turn. You don't steer an aircraft carrier, you gently nudge it in the direction you think it ought to go, and it decides if it wants to. And they're fast ships.
To be fair, this thing doesn't have propellers or anything. It just magical.
Go. I'm thinking, honestly, just hitting like home or like south would be enough to get everyone to say, what the fuck's going on, which would bring attention to us, which would, if we just hold in here, we can make them come.
that
Yeah.
good plan?
I mean, we're trying to. Option B is to leave and go find this guy somewhere else. Actually, that's option A.
I mean, we wanted to keep him from crashing it.
Do we?
Fighting.
We kind of. Yeah, we do. We need the castle
Why?
to get into the party. You have to show up in style.
I mean, we have teleport.
Yeah, but they won't let us in if we don't show up in style.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, is there really any way that we could possibly take control of this place other than just hole up in here and fight against a siege of potentially like everybody in the castle coming for us?
That is plan. That's what I'm suggesting as plan B. We could do that. All we have to do is start pushing buttons and get people to say, "What the fuck's going on?" There's one door. We just hold the door while they keep showing up until.
Does Igaron know what the procedure or protocol is for when there's an alarm?
Basically, everybody gets up. The alarm is like it alerts everybody that something's wrong. Basically, the procedure is everybody gets up, grabs all their gear that they can on short notice, and starts looking for whatever the fuck caused it.
Here's a question. Does he know if that rune can be destroyed?
Oh, he doesn't know. It's not something he's ever considered.
Because anyway, yeah, because either destroying it or keeping it from going off would be the only way to really deal with that.
Is there any way to lock it up?
You can lock the door to here.
Him and have a force cage on it.
Do you guys have force cage?
I forgot mine at home.
Yeah.
I have wall of stone. That's permanent if I hold it, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you can try and wall of stone off, like, the control area or something if you want.
If I focus really hard and am very forceful in my thoughts, can that count?
For locking the door?
Force cage,
For
whatever.
I mean, You
Use the
can
force
try.
cage, Rich.
You can try to use force cage. There might be some horrible things that happen if you do, because it's 2 levels above. The force cage is 7th level, I believe, which is 2 levels above what you guys can currently cast. So
Remember that wild magic table?
yeah, I would also be busting out the D10,000 wild magic table.
Well, we want their attention.
You do, and that would certainly do it. Well, probably. Some of the wild magic effects on that table are not subtle, whereas some of them are very subtle.
Yeah, I think wall of stone's our best choice for trying to seal things off, if that's what we want to do.
It'll slow them down at least.
Nobody's hit a rune yet, right?
No.
Nope.
Okay.
I mean, we could just try activating the all clear continuously and just smashing the crap out of alarm.
I'd prefer not to do that because I'd like to fight this guy first. Because if we can kill what's his name, by himself, I think the rest of them, a significant chunk of the rest of them, we can tell to just piss off, and they will.
Though we may need to land first with some of them.
No ticket.
Alright, so you want to seal off the control tower, the steering tower.
With us outside, right?
With you outside?
No. Before we do anything, do we want to hold up in here and make them come to us, or do we want to see off the control tower so they don't crash and then go find the guy?
Also, we at least just sealed off, like, the console. Because he may be able to get in here either way, who knows?
Good point.
I mean, does Igron know of another way in?
No.
But, like, he said he can... He told us what magic he has, right?
He does. I mean, he can fly, but all cloud giants can fly, right?
Didn't he say something about Misty Step, though?
Misty Step is line of sight, though, right?
Yes, it is. That's like half the reason why people take Dimension Door. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, as long as we, like, I guess, hold up the console really closely.
Put that stone wall directly in front of it. So it can't fit between the wall and the console.
Hmm.
And really, keep in mind, we just need to keep a giant from fitting between the wall and the console.
Yeah.
So it's not got to be like right on, but it's a foot away.
Right.
I mean, even 2 feet away.
Well, he's got wizards with him who might be human sized, so we don't want him like lowering one of them down. It'd be weird.
Well, is there any
It's not.
compelling reason not to make it Just as close as I possibly can.
No, but keep in mind that close as you possibly can. Since it just needs to be giant size, it doesn't need to be like within a couple millimeters or anything like that.
Well, you said humans, so.
Yeah.
I mean, the point is there a reason to leave it accessible to anyone at all?
We might want to wiggle in there later.
Well, then you could just take it down.
Sure.
I think once I've made it permanent, I can't. It's just real.
Oh.
Yeah, at that point, it's just stone.
So it needs to be small enough for one of us to wiggle in.
Alright.
But
Millimeters
I'm
is
small for an
actually
elf.
pretty fine. Yeah, millimeters is actually pretty fine.
But keep in mind, Adriel is small for an elf, so you're not looking at a
Yeah,
full-sized
but
human.
I'm a
Yeah,
druid.
a couple of us have dimension doors, so we can at least get on the other side.
Right, so leave open the possibility of getting yourself in there. Other than that, close.
I guess no.
Okay.
Technically, we would probably want. I don't know, enough for Igaron.
I mean, like I said, at that point, we're leaving it open to any humanoid.
Yeah. This orc.
Orcs are some of the broadest humanoids, though.
Mm-hmm.
So are you leaving space for people or what?
I think that we decided on leaving space for small people.
Sure. Okay. All right. As you cast your spell, you cut off some of the control room, particularly. Are you aiming for all of the runes or just the alarm?
How much space do the runes cover?
This is probably like a 30-foot, call it 30-foot radius room, circular room.
Okay, and they go all the way around?
Yeah, they're kind of arranged around the whole thing.
Okay, so. Yeah, I think I can do the whole room with that.
All right. 10 foot by 10 foot. Radius of a circle or circumference of a circle is 30-foot radius means it's what? 180,
60 feet. 60 feet across or about 180 feet total wall.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Or 90, somewhere in there.
Yeah. That sounds
The
about right.
difference kind of matters.
So, I mean, you can cover most of them, but not quite all, I think. Oh, no, you can do all of them. Never mind. as long as they're only 3 inches thick.
All right, so what do we think? Is it more important that I lock them all down, or is it more important that I lock some of them down heavily?
All if possible.
Yeah, as many as possible there.
All right, so yeah, I'd hit the whole thing.
All right. So as you're forming the walls, they spring up into existence and block access to the rooms. You hear grumbling in Giant. Same voice as that whisper that you heard earlier, but louder. Yeah.
I'm gonna trigger Divine Sense.
Is it female?
Female, yes. There's something technically undead in the room. Like extremely weak, but there.
Just looking at a spell.
Yeah, you don't want to do that yet.
It's too small to flood the whole room, so I can't do that. That would explain who's flying. There's invisible undead.
Wasn't there supposed to be a vampire here?
If it's a super weak undead, then it's definitely not
It's-
that one, probably.
It's
weak.
not a. Well, that either means it's a lesser undead or it's kind of here, but not really.
Think less like skeleton, more like spirit floating around.
Could be ethereal, yeah.
Wait, could Igaran tell us what the thing's saying? They're speaking in Giant?
Does he hear it? He can't quite make it out. Upon mention of a female giant, who may or may not be undead, he looks very thoughtful and confused. He calls something out in Giant. And a spirit appears in front of him in the form of a female cloud giant.
Oh.
Agron looks very happy to see her and starts launching into a bunch of questions in Giant.
She's just watching this very curiously. Trying to see if she picks up on any giant words.
Really? You pick up on a couple of of words like who and how and what. Um, Eventually, however, Igeron turns to the rest of you. Says, I'm so sorry. This apparently becoming spirits after death runs in the family.
Is this your mother or sister?
This is my mother.
So just give a slight bow to the spirit.
Her name is Esclarata. She has apparently been bound here for quite some time. And she nods.
Your father is a dick.
Really, just terrible.
Yes, that's why we're here to kill him.
Yes, I know. Just nice to assure myself.
Does she know where he is?
Probably in his chambers, she says. She says she can control the castle, but if we want to kill him, we should get him out first.
Out of the castle?
Yes. If he dies here, he'll take over from me.
Oh.
Even if he can't. Oh.
Just making sure we understand all of our options. The spirits can be destroyed, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I'd hate to do something twice that we only have to do once, but so they're saying we should lure him out of the castle.
Even if you can just get him to fly out.
Well, not for nothing. If he's flying and we're on the ground, he has the edge.
Hmm.
And we're not going to fight him in the air effectively.
What could possibly lure him out?
Challenge? Me? Maybe?
I have already called him out.
I did.
Where are we right now?
You are in the steering tower in the upper courtyard. So.
No, like where's the castle in the world?
Does she know?
Oh. Uh. You're like here. You're a bit north of Parnast. You haven't been flying for too long, but you're heading north from where you started.
So do you suggest we first land and then try to do that?
Basically. Tis an annoying complication, but yeah, that's what I think we're gonna have to do.
All right.
And if he's in his chambers, then he's probably still asleep, right?
Probably.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. You want
We're
Escalada?
the tower on the edge, right?
Sorry?
The tower on the steering tower's on the edge, right?
Yep. I'll move you guys back over to the map real quick. Okay.
So we could probably get on the carpet, hop out a window, land, and then like yell at them magically. Somehow leave a note behind or something.
Basically say, fuck you, come fight me.
Pretty much.
All right.
I do like that. Just like, no, it's a giant like dick butt and then like a middle finger.
Fight me IRL, mate.
Pretty much.
At PAX.
Oh, like a really like crude crayon drawing of Blagofkus and then just like
Just two stick figures, but a lot bigger than the other
Just
with the head
says,
coming off.
dear Lord Blagofkus, and then there's a picture of a butt.
Yes, that's perfect.
All right. All right.
We'll
So,
always start a fight. Hey, you guys want to fight?
Esclarada starts the castle descending. So you guys will probably end up maybe 10 miles outside of Parnost. You haven't been going for very long. Then you can fly outside Blagofkus's tower and basically tell him, yo, fight me, bitch. Is that what you want to do?
I mean, I don't care about the particular wording. That's up to Igeron.
Igeron's preference is along the lines of, oi, fight me. I'm gonna crump you.
They're like caramel corn flavored Cheetos.
So, you know, if no one has any objections.
Here's a question. Wait, never mind. You can fly. Never mind. They like get him out, then like me. Hey, mom, can you move the castle far away? Bring it back later.
Well, maybe not.
Mom, can you pick us up this afternoon?
Yeah.
I mean, again, this is a castle. It does not go fast. But it can try. She can also... Ooh. She can also activate the storm rune and cause a storm to start going around the castle.
Here we go.
Which also... Oh, shit, they can aim it. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, yeah. So she can set up the castle to start a thunderstorm around it if you give her 1 minute, and then she can start shooting lightning bolts at him.
That is fantastic, and we should
Yeah.
absolutely do
I
that.
really like her. Also, as a note, who wants the, before we set this up, or when we're about to, who wants the other lightning resistance?
It's a potion?
Yep.
I would like it.
Because, yeah, I've got 2, and then if, Syl wants to help out anyone with, like, the resistance spell.
I mean, why would I particularly have resistance? Shouldn't it go to someone who's going to be toe-to-toe with him?
No, that's
I
what I
don't know
meant,
what
like, you could cast it on somebody. Because I only have 2 potions, and then whatever you can add to that, number-wise.
Like, I can also cast protection from energy, but I'm pretty sure it's concentration, which means it probably won't hold up.
Yeah. Which is why I got a couple potions.
Sorry, do I have anything other than protection?
Well, there's 2 potions of lightning resistance, so we want those to go to the people who need it the most. And then there's also castings for those who know the spell as an option.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
if it's,
so yeah,
I don't
would
know
do
if it's really the
protection from
best.
energy, but
I'm not sure it's the best use of your concentration, but
no, if we have a storm going, I want to be throwing my own lightning bolts.
totally. I mean, he's
They're
probably
much better
resistant to
than
that too,
before.
but you know.
I mean,
Yeah.
Agron would know if he was or not.
I was gonna say, does Agron know if lightning bolts are going to
No,
be a good plan?
I actually just checked this. Cloud giants are not resistant to either lightning or thunder.
Noise.
I feel like,
Just kind of assuming that's a thing they would have, but if
I mean,
not,
you would think
Maybe
so.
storm giants?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm checking next. Do storm giants get it? Because they're storm giants. You would think they would be resistant to storms.
the fire giants are like immune to fire.
They are. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Storm giants are the ones who are immune to lightning and thunder.
That totally makes sense.
Oh shit. Storm giants are great. You guys are going to fight a storm giant at one point.
So they're badass mofos.
Yeah, they're great.
Whoa.
That's why they were at the top of the ordning.
Yes. Yes. All right. So, I kind of want... All right. So, first things first. You land it. You want to... Well, you start it setting down. Eventually, you land it. Somebody is probably gonna come investigate while you are once the castle starts going down way ahead of schedule. So, are you guys staying in the room while it
I
goes
think
down?
we'd be getting preps to head on
Have I
down.
made the stone permanent?
Yeah, you would have made the stone permanent. You can take the time to do that if you want.
Yeah, because
It's only 10 minutes.
yeah, exactly. And I think
I assume
it's
that'll
well
be when
worth
they're
having
catching up.
finished before we decide to skedaddle.
Okay. All right. So, you wait for the stone walls to be finished, and you head out before the castle starts sinking. You've got your carpet. You spot as you're leaving Blagothkis running towards the tower as a little bit after the castle has begun to sink. And you hear a couple of shouts of frustration. We're really going to have to set a limit on it someday. Probably around the same time when I actually give it a concrete fucking speed.
I'm wondering, do I need to resummon Vikethla when we get down or not?
The carpet is driven by narrativium.
In that it's meant to like have the amount of time it takes you guys to get places. Yes.
Exactly. We always are,
Uh,
and it can carry the most dramatically appropriate number of people.
I'd like to think it's not so much a carpet as like just like a big king mattress.
more or less.
Diggity?
Yeah, you can take Vikethla down with you. Why not?
Like 300 thread count.
All the threads. So many threads. Threads for fucking days.
Yep.
All right. So the castle sets down. Igron yells his challenge towards the castle. Oi! Father! Get out here! Fight me! I'm gonna crump you, you right bastard!
Also passed off the other thing to Adriel. The potion. So we can both take it as soon as he shows up.
Alright. So, Blagothkis. A blue streak comes out from the castle and lands in front of you guys.
Does he do the superhero landing?
He does do the superhero landing.
Appropriate.
He looks up at you. Well, I'm just gonna kill you all then. My son's talking about crumping people. We're gonna have a fight on our hands. And there are a couple of other people, it looks like, coming from the castle towards you guys. Not quite as fast as Blagothkis, though.
I am hopeful that there is bad weather forming up.
Yep. As soon as he leaves, storm clouds start forming around the castle.
So as soon as he superhero lands, I want to try to hold monster on him.
I was actually going to ask you guys if you wanted to do this tonight, or if you'd prefer to do it like tomorrow or or next week or something.
I would say next week.
Yeah, really. I know that I'm prepping for that.
Either way,
Okay.
but yeah.
So yeah, there are a couple of people coming to join him. They are not quite here yet. They'll probably be here in a round or so. All right. So that is this week. I hope you all enjoyed. It was something.
Always.
Cuckoo Choo. Nomination things. The last person I have for nomination is 4 weeks ago. Liston, so.
Do any of us not have inspiration though?
I'm reasonably certain you all do. I need to make you guys burn more inspiration.
Well, we've got a great opportunity coming up.
Oh, yeah.
But if I use it, then I won't have it for later.
I'm expecting it.
Ah, yes.
This is how it work in any like Final Fantasy game. I have a shit ton of my inventory that I never use.
Oh yeah.
You gotta save those potions for an emergency.
You know, I'm at the final boss. I got those mega elixirs sitting in my bag, but now I might use them after the final boss.
Gotta go deal with Omega Weapon.
I know that all too well.
Fun time. Sorry, second negotiations, guys.
I'm more just surprised that everybody believed what he was telling you. I thought I'd trained you to be more suspicious of NPCs, especially fucking evil dragons.
I mean, I'm not sure that we are actually intending to let him have anything.
Alright. Neat.
I think I am not alone in thinking that at least one faction is going to want the castle enough to go up against the dragon for it, so better to deal with the beaten winner, I think.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a clusterfuck. This is gonna be awesome. Everybody gonna be fighting over this fucking castle. It's a good thing it goes so slowly so that you guys have time to clean out all the bloodstains.
Prestidigitation.
Basically, yeah.
This castle will never be clean.
Outstem spot. Spot is like 20 feet across in the courtyard.
No.
Yeah.
Sil just has to create like control water. We have to set down the castle next to a river and just flood it all through.
Why is there blood flowing out of your castle? It was a bad few days.
that was one crazy Yom Kippur.
Best possible answer.
Oh, good. Alright, well, I'm glad you are all ready for this. All right.
You have to sing that song whenever someone says y'all ready for this.
All right. I will see you all next week for
See ya.
Later.
part 2.
Later,
Good night.
games. Happy Halloween!
Yep. All right. Night, guys.